Welcome to Crack Defense. So, today we'll start with our biology series and we'll start with our first topic that is on cells. Okay, so today we'll study about different components of cells, different types of cells. Okay, what are the organisms that carry cells? We'll study about each of them in great detail. So first, before starting anything, we all should know what cell is. So cell is the basic fundamental unit of life, and the Latin word for cell is a little room. Okay, so I hope in your school you must have done the experiment of onion peel, in which when we extract the onion peel and observe it under the microscope, we see these kind of compartments are present. Okay, so these compartments are present, and these compartments, they are called as cells. Okay, so you will see something like this when you will observe the onion peel under the microscope. Okay, and these compartments are cells. Okay, so now we'll study uh, the cell theory, and who are the scientists uh, that are responsible for the discovery of cells. So we'll study about each of them. So first we have Robert Hooke. Okay, so Robert Hooke, he first saw cell in the cork, okay, bark of tree. So he found cell in a thin piece of cork, and he said those tiny boxes uh, as cells. Okay, he called them as cells. So he was the first scientist who saw cell. And after Robert Hooke, we have another scientist, and he is Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Okay, so what he did, he saw free living organisms in pond water. Okay, in pond water, he saw free living organisms and he observed them under the microscope. He used a handmade microscope to absorb those cell organisms, and he called those organisms as animalcules. Okay, so uh, he is also called as father of microbiology. Okay, so Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he is also called as the father of microbiology. Then after him we have another scientist, and they are Sheldon and Swan. Okay, so these two together, they have discovered cell theory. Okay, so cell theory is being discovered by Sheldon and Swan. Okay, so cell theory has been discovered by Sheldon and Swan, in which Sheldon, he studied on plants, and Swan, he studied on animals, and together they've made a theory, and their theory is called as cell theory. Okay, and this happened in 1938. Then after him we have another scientist, and he's Warsaw. Okay, so Warsaw, he further extended the cell theory. So uh, uh, first they have discovered cell theory. Now Warsaw, he has extended the cell theory, and he suggested that all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay, so he said पहले एक cell होएगा, ठीक है, उसके बाद it will divide, and then we'll have two cells. Okay, then these two cells will divide into four. Okay, this will divide into four. Like this we'll have so many cells in a body. Okay, so he said that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. So this was being done by Warsaw. We also have one more scientist, and he's Robert Brown, who discovered what nucleus is. Okay, so nucleus is in the cell is being discovered by Robert Brown. Okay, so Robert Brown, he discovered nucleus in the cell. Then after this, after we have discussed this, we'll talk about organisms. Okay, so every organism has have some kind of cell in them. Okay, so different organisms have different cell type. So unicellular organisms, they have different cell types. Okay, and multicellular organisms have different cells. So we'll study about them. So cell organisms, so we have two organisms, two types of organisms. unicellular organism and multicellular organisms. Okay, unicellular means single cell. Okay, so this is single cell. So single cell organisms are called as unicellular organisms, and if an organism has multiple number of cells present in them, they are called as multicellular organisms. Okay, so human being, we are multicellular organisms because we have n number of cells present in our body. We cannot count how many cells we have. We have so many cells in our body, and that is why we are called as multicellular organisms. These are few examples of unicellular organisms. Okay, so we have amoeba, we have paramecium, and we have euglena. Okay, so these three organisms are unicellular organisms. These are single celled organisms. So in your textbook, in your NCRT textbook, I've seen that we have this structure where they have shown how amoeba intake their food. Okay, so amoeba intake their food with the help of this thing. This is called pseudopodia. So with the help of pseudopodia, amoeba ingest their food. Okay, so how they do this? So if some food particle is present in front of amoeba, so what amoeba will do, amoeba will increase this. Okay, with the help of this pseudopodium, it will enlarge this pseudopodium, and then it will engulf this food. Okay, so this is the process, this is the way through which amoeba intake their food. Then in case of euglena, this is flagellum. Okay, and this flagellum is present which help euglena for movement. Okay, and in case of paramecium, this is you can see this these structures. Okay, these are cilia. Okay, uh, small flagella, you can also call them as small flagella. Okay, very small flagella, and these cilia, they help paramecium in movement. Okay, so through which, through this cilia, paramecium undergoes movement. Okay, so this was about single cell organisms. Now we will discuss further. Okay, we'll talk about multicellular organisms also, but before that, we have this classification of cell. Okay, so cells are classified into eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Okay, so we have these two kinds of classification, and we'll discuss about uh, these cells. So in case of prokaryotes, you can see that these are prokaryotic cell. Okay, flagellum is present. In eukaryotes, we don't have this. Okay, in eukaryotes, we have mitochondria, cell membrane, nucleus. Okay, so we'll read the difference in our next slide. Here there is difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So prokaryotes are small and eukaryotes are generally large. Okay, and in prokaryotes, the nuclear region is not defined. So in this diagram, you can here see that this is the nuclear membrane. Okay, this region, this region is not defined. Okay, it is having an irregular shape, and here you can see that here you have some kind of shape. Okay, so that is what is written, that is what is written here, that well-defined nuclear region is there. No well-defined nuclear region is present in case of prokaryotes. Then we have nuclear membrane present in case of eukaryotes, and in case of prokaryotes, nuclear membrane is absent. If we talk about chromosomes, so prokaryotes are single celled, and eukaryotes have more than one chromosomes. Okay, so in human body, how many chromosomes we have? So this is a homework for you. How many chromosomes you have? You have to comment that in the comment section. Then next we have membrane-bound organelles. So membrane-bound organelles are absent in case of prokaryotes, and they are present in case of eukaryotes. The example of prokaryotes are bacteria, blue-green algae, And here we have plants and animals. So plants and animals are the example of eukaryotes. Human beings have eukaryotic cells. Okay, and eukaryotic cells are the more advanced version of cell. Okay, prokaryotic is very primitive version. Okay, it is a very uh, it is not very advanced. Then after this we have uh, our next topic, that is the difference between plant cell and animal cell. So we will study this, the difference between plants and animal cell. So here in plant cell, you can see that cell wall is present. Okay, and then we also have cell membrane. Okay, this light green line, okay, this is cell membrane, this dark green thing is the cell wall. Okay, and this structure is the Golgi apparatus. Then we have vacuole membrane. Okay, you can see here that it has acquired so much of space. Okay, in the center we have so much of empty space, and that is the vacuole, and this is the vacuole membrane. Then we have mitochondria. Okay, after mitochondria, here we have Golgi vesicles, then we have ribosomes, then this is the nucleus. You can see here nucleus is present here, and inside the nucleus we have nucleolus. In case of animal cell, you can see that here in case of plant cell we have vacuole in between. Okay, it has acquired so much space, but in case of animal cell, nucleus is present in center. Okay, so here you have nucleus, but in case of plant cell, nucleus is not present in between. Okay, so this is one of the difference. Then you can see that here vacuole is has taken so much of space. Here vacuole is not there in the center. Then in plant cell we have cell wall, but in case of animal cell we don't have cell wall, we only have cell membrane present, and this cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane. Okay, then these are present in both Golgi apparatus. Okay, mitochondria, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This is present in both plants as well as animal cell. And then we have cytoplasm, the space in which all these components are there, that is the cytoplasm. Okay, then here you can see ribosomes. Here you can see ribosomes attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so this is the difference between plants and animal cell. And in our next slide, I have made a table for you so that you can revise it. Okay, whatever I have said in my previous slide, this is the summary of that. So do revise it uh, here itself. So cell wall is absent in animal cell, and it is present in plant cell. Okay, and that is the reason why plant cell are harder when you compare them with animal cell. Then outer membrane is plasma membrane or cell membrane, because cell wall तो absent है यहाँ पर, so outer membrane जो है वो plasma membrane हो जाएगा. But in case of plant cell, cell wall is present, so we have cell wall as the outer membrane. So once again, if you want to see, so here you can see this is the outer membrane and cell wall is present. Here cell wall is not present, and we have cell membrane as the outer membrane. Then next we have this vacuole. Okay, so it is present in, it has taken a very small space, one or more, not many vacuoles are there. But in case of plant cell, we have one big vacuole in the center. Okay, and then we have this cell and different components of cell. Okay, plastids are present in plant cell, but it is absent in animal cell. Nucleus lies in center, so in animal cell we have nucleus in the center, but in case of plant cell we have nucleus somewhere on one of the side. Okay, then animal cell, the shape of animal cell is irregular, but here the shape is regular. Then chloroplast is absent in animal cell, but it is present in plant cell. And because of the presence of chloroplast only, plants are green in color. So this is responsible for plants to be this is responsible because of which plants are green. Then we have lysosomes that are present in plant cell, in animal cell, but it is not present in plant cell. Okay, so this was the difference between plants and animal cell. uh, uh, just remember it. This is a very important topic from your biology part. So what we have discussed till now, we have discussed about the difference between plants and animal cell. We have discussed about prokaryotes and eukaryotes. We have discussed about unicellular and multicellular organisms, and we also have studied about different scientists, what all they proposed. Okay, so this, on and all, this was a very important this was the very important topic. And study it properly. This will come in your exam. Now, in the next class, I will I will explain about each of these components that are present in the cell in detail. Okay, so wait for the next class. Till then, take care and goodbye.